Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone in between, get ready to blow up on a Beamer, sneer at a Scion, and criticize a Cadillac. This is Yelling at Parked Cars.
Penis, gagging you with entertainment.
Long dramatic pause tonight. Hello, everybody. I just realized our special guest is not in the center. We have two guests from the chat tonight. We have Southern Belle and Pinochet's Helicopter Tours. How you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm wonderful. I'm assuming you meant me because you said sir.
Yes.
Excellent. It's good to be here. How is it?
Man, your audio sounds so smooth. Normally when we have guests from the chat, it's like we get not so great audio, but you sound like you have some good gear.
I thank Cloud Lifter. They do all the work.
They do. Yeah. I actually originally had Cloud Lifter for this microphone, but the preamp I have is enough to compensate for it, so I don't need it.
Yeah. Actually, I almost used my preamp and I couldn't get it right, and I kept clipping, and I was like, "That's it. I'm just going to use the Phantom off the board and deal with it." So, nothing like waiting to the last minute to make sure I was show ready.
Well, I mean, the good thing is you popped on. Your audio just sounded perfect, so we're good. 100%.
Mm-hmm. You don't sound like you're in a well like me.
Yes.
Oh, why are you in a well?
Because he was a bad boy.
As a plumber, I could actually tell you way easier ways to get water, and they all don't involve going inside a well.
Well, why are you trying to make his life safer? Gosh.
Yeah. Comics, yeah.
Well, this all sounds very wet.
It depends. Could be a dry well, like Hillary Clinton.
Damn. For whatever reason, StreamYards doesn't seem to be getting our chats tonight.
Okay, so I'm not the only one.
No, it's I don't know what happened there, but didn't do anything different. But we have a super chat starting off from Darius for $2. Says maybe he tripped over a low hanging testicle. A reference to our illustrious president. I guess everyone saw that. We'll have to play the clip, man. That's shit's hilarious. WG already coming hot with 10 gifted memberships. Thank you, WG. Catzilla for $9.99 says hello, Yelling at Park Cars. Looking forward to the lively discussion tonight. Carry on. We will.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be a good time, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping to actually get you your first context banner with a reference and a link to Encyclopedia Britannica, because usually when you talk about JFK and the facts surrounding it, it earns you one of those things at the bottom. So I know you recently planned your change for the channel, and I didn't want to be that person who tanks it, but anything you think we may need to wait, I will curb my language for YouTube, but we'll save certain things I'd like to say for Rumble. But
100%.
Yeah, I promise I will not be that person that does it, but I may earn you a context banner. So
I've actually gotten them before. Typically whenever the C word gets mentioned, the C19 word gets mentioned, they always stick a banner to you. So
lovely.
Yeah. That's why we try and avoid certain topics, because YouTube's kind of funny. Which is funny. One thing that we will talk about, which honestly wasn't on the agenda, but I'm surprised it wasn't, is the sudden rule change around election misinformation. That's
supposedly we're allowed to talk about it now.
Yeah, I don't trust it. I really don't. I don't trust YouTube.
I don't either.
I have my theory.
I say we stick with Rumble.
Yeah. I have my theories on why, but we'll get to it when we do.
I think it's all because of Nick.
That one. Why do you think, Nick? Why do you think it's?
I think it's a way of, because I've had some people think, oh, it's because Rumble and Odyssey they can talk about that. Honestly, I think that's a little bit of wishful thinking. Now, if that were to be the case, I would like that. I don't know if Rumble and Odyssey have made that much of an impact. Now, obviously, Rumble is gaining steam and momentum, and that's great. That's awesome. But I truly believe they are setting the stage as a just in case there was a loss in 2014. So they can make, hey, look, guys, he stole in 2024 just like he did in 16. and then everyone could go on and on about how it was stolen again. I think
I was thinking about that too, Nick. That was kind of my thoughts around it, because we all know there's a lot of election denying that goes around the Democratic side. Basically, whenever a Republican gets elected, we saw it back in 2000. We saw it with Trump. So in order for them to be able to complain about election misgivings, they need to lax that rule.
Indeed.
Kind of convenient.
Plus, it allows them to put us on a registry of people that are willing to say these things, that they can then keep a list of all of us.
Mm-hmm.
So when
I think they don't like that Trump is all in ballot harvesting too, because he has announced that he's going all in on that, which I'm glad he's doing.
Yeah, they should. That's what the Democrats are doing.
I hope he encourages, on the advanced voting in ahead, like do it all, man. Like he's right. You got to play that game. Like if there's one thing he's definitely doing right is he's finally acknowledging that there's issues with these elections. And he's like, okay, you know what? They set up this game. We got to play it this way, beat them at their own game. And I'm down for that. You know, if I get 5 forms coming my way, well, I'm sure you guys can figure out what I'll do. I won't say ask, but you can figure it out.
I have an opinion question from the entire panel, if you will, and the chat. I heard that Mike Pence is announcing he's running for president in 2024.
Yes. Yes. Like finally the candidate nobody asked for.
Nobody asked for Mike Pence. You know what? I think he's doing that as a way to derail Trump. The way they're hoping DeSantis would make an impact, and he's not really made much of an impact. And I think they're just trying to throw as many names in there, hope that will somehow overwhelm the numbers of Trump. But it's not going to happen.
I don't know.
Trump is the nominee.
Here's the thing with Trump. I think competition is good, and I think that if anything, it will make him a stronger candidate if he's able to beat him down like they did in 2016. So I don't see this as a bad thing. However, yeah, you're right, Tox. Pence is the candidate nobody asked for, and farting sound I made was basically Joe Biden's pants.
Pence may be a good man, but he is not an interesting man, and he's not somebody that people follow. So
he
really has no hope in this.
Like he is the embodiment of Rhino Republican plain Jane. Like there's no reason for that guy. He is like a Jeb Bush. He's low energy. He's lazy. Yeah. No one's gonna get excited. Like, yeah, Mike Pence. No one does that. No one does that. It's like, it's like the same, people
it's like getting excited for indigestion. It just doesn't happen.
I can't wait for heartburn.
It's like, hey, everybody, I'm going to go get a colonoscopy.
Yeah.
I can't wait for it to be cold outside and 10 below. It's my favorite weather.
Culture, you came on screen. Go ahead.
Mike Pence is a product of the Lincoln Project, and therefore is not to be trusted.
Yep.
I don't know why whenever I hear Lincoln Project, it translates to log cabin Republicans, but whatever.
No, we kind of like those log cabin Republicans. But,
I was making a gay joke. Sorry, my bad.
When you think about these people,
you did? It's Pride Month.
Should have been gayer.
Go ahead, Peter Shea.
When you think about these people who announce their run, you imagine the lives they live. Where like our circle, your circle through your daily life, the people you have to interact with, the things that you're capable in a typical day. But these people think that they actually have a crowd. Now, it's one thing to, yes, everybody should have their chance if they can throw their hat in a ring to run for it. But to not have like your finger on the pulse of just how bad it is shows that they live in such a unique bubble as a politician that they cannot see the world around them. Like they believe this isn't happening to anyone else around. This is crazy.
Well, even when he was announced as VP, a lot of people were just like, why Pence?
Oh, that was to get the religious part that the people,
the evangelicals.
No, 100%. That was it. Nobody was excited for him. I don't even think the evangelicals were excited for him either.
I don't think he wanted to do it.
Not really.
Mm-hmm.
So, Pinochet, is what you're saying that none of us really have a chance at the Sex Olympics in Sweden? Is that what
that part we do? To become president is different than the Sex Olympics, though.
Because Nick's huge, like huge.
For the benefit of the chat, Nick was telling us about apparently,
I was telling you about that.
Oh, sorry, Corey was telling us about
on his show today.
Yeah. That apparently sex is now a sport according to Sweden.
Yep.
Which is all kinds of funny into itself.
And true.
Yeah. I made a joke about basically the only benefit to that sport would be the training. That's
pregnancy. That's a benefit.
That's true.
Yeah. True.
If you're a quote unquote woman, whatever that is.
Yeah. Birthing person.
Well, just keep in mind they're priding themselves on diversity and inclusion as well, which means you're going to see some oversized competitors.
Ooh.
And I'm not talking about the size of their units, ladies and gentlemen.
I have never seen Comics Division mount a blue whale like that before. 10.0.
Yeah, definitely go check that out, Corey's Corner.
It just makes me wonder if it's going to give new definition to pole vaulting.
Oh, God.
Yep. That's one of the events Tiny Metal Trees is looking forward to, is the pole vaulting.
That's a nice turd there, Corey.
It's some gay shit.
Did you leave a smile on the face?
That's it.
Well, what makes you think it's going to be women that are going to be getting drilled? That's the inclusion part I'm worried
Holding
about.
your breath. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be intense.
Sven's anus took 12 dongs. A new world record. Oh, wait, here comes the American from San Francisco. This record's going to be broken. Yeah.
Only a matter of time. Only a matter of time before two guys win the lesbian cup in that.
Exactly.
Right.
And the carpet munching award goes to Robert Smith from Hollywood City, California.
Yeah, we went over the scoring system and everything on today's show. So if you guys want to check something out after this, then you have insomnia, then definitely watch my show.
Oh my God, I got
the damn.
I have to check that out. That's funny.
Last 30 minutes is the Sex Olympics. So if you don't want to hear about serial killers and stuff like that,
covering the Sex Olympics
full stream.
See, but before that, we talked about serial killers and we talked about hitmen and we talked about dogs chasing postmen and we talked about Norway and all kinds of stuff. So there's lots to watch. Sex Olympics is just like highlight, in my opinion.
It's definitely
I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And this year's winner of the gold medal for ass spelunking goes to Culture Casino. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
The categories.
Was he the spelunker or was he the cave or the spelunker?
Ooh.
Does it matter?
I don't have anything.
Maybe a little bit of both.
Remember, there's bonuses for transition, so
It gives new meaning to he shoots, he scores.
Exactly.
Can you imagine that dude that announces all the goals for the World Cup announcing the sex?
It's just going to be those horn things that they wing around the long. That's all it's going to be the whole time.
The vuvuzelas or whatever they were called.
Yes, the not cool Australian things.
I just hope that there's an active ticker of injuries so that we can keep track. You know,
like broken penises,
prolapse, bent dick.
Yeah.
Imagine the PEDs.
Yeah. I was gonna say, you know, I'm pretty sure things would get raw after the jackhammering contest.
Oh damn! That was
brought to you by Pfizer.
Brought to you by Pfizer. Let's see. Turners S says if Drew and Ruben were to enter the Sex Olympics, they'd be the finalists in the event. Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely would, especially the pole vaulting one.
Yep. Yeah.
Drew has pole vaulted the sun yet again.
Yep.
And I'm still looking for answers on whether or not they have singles events, but
yeah.
I know you'd have. How would you throw a flag on the field?
The judges would probably just come on the field.
Nice. Nice, that's good.
Yeah.
The judges just have paddles to come and spank you if you did something wrong.
I don't think
You are in the penalty box. Yeah.
I am
Culture
Peter.
was
I am
looking
your
to-
judge.
Culture was looking to compete in the sprint version of the Sex Olympics.
The relay race is going to be great too.
The relay.
The wheelbarrow event.
Culture's face is worth this discussion.
It
I'm
really
destroying
is.
my whole live stream, but this is great.
Everybody always gets stuck on leapfrog.
Dude, you can break your dick doing that. Holy cow.
There's a lot of
We were making
competition
jokes
in
about
there.
that already. Culture.
Twister, Twister, you know,
Twister.
playing
That's right.
Twister.
Naked Twister.
Naked Twister. Yeah.
Yeah.
The long hump or the triple hump?
You know what? If there's no naked skydiving event, then it doesn't matter.
And Culture's been knocked out by his own balls. Skydiving event has been called.
That was comics. That was the short man with the big balls.
That's right. Dragging the ground. Guy's digging a channel with his nads.
All right. Brian McCann became a member at the I'll Buy That for $1 level, and he also gifted 5 memberships. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. McCann.
Yeah, I love how we stopped talking about the Sex Olympics and the numbers start dropping. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Let's talk about our illustrious president and his misfortunate accident he had.
Come on, man.
You mean his proclivity for testing gravity regularly?
Yeah. It's a fucking great shot. I love how there's actually multiples of this. So we'll
There's all kinds of
Oh, is this a new one?
This is the directions for where he's supposed to go. Oh, yep. I'm supposed to go there.
Wow. You know, if this was Trump doing this, it would be national news.
Well, it was when he slowly walked down a ramp because it was slick and had no guardrail.
Yeah.
But he didn't fall.
He also made fun of himself and actually referenced it after Biden did his faceplant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's a class act. He didn't even go after the guy for that. He just said, look, there's a reason you don't want to do that. When you get older, you don't want to fall.
I mean, Culture could have told you that.
Oh, my God.
Man.
Joining our commander-in-chief in the reviewing area are the Commandant of the Marine Corps.
His pant leg went up.
Marine Barracks.
Wow.
His colostomy bag had to be adjusted.
Dude, why is he wearing skinny leg pants?
No.
What is happening right now?
Biden hits his head on the door of Marine One.
Yeah. That was the morning after he fell.
Yeah. All right. We'll actually going to dial down the audio here because there's nothing like a high pitched whir.
Right.
And the guy looks. What was that sound? Oh,
it was the president's head off the freaking thing.
It was metal on metal.
Bonk. Oh, that did not. Yeah, he's lucky he didn't fucking
take a nosedive.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna call this elder abuse straight up.
These really
people
is.
know he's in bad shape, and he is clearly not in good health to be a fit president at all. Whether regardless of how you feel on his politics, whichever ones he actually does enforce, and he's obviously no more than a puppet, yes man, whatever you want to call him. And yet they keep him there just to say, hey, look, we have a president, but we need him to sign off on all these things we're going to advocate. He probably doesn't even know half the things he's signed off on. Like, it's absolutely insane that this is what they do. Like, I remember when John McCain was considered too old to run for president. And Grant, don't get me wrong, I couldn't stand McCain to save my own life. But he was fully functional. So at least, I mean, for all the crap he said he wanted to do about 100 years of Iraq and all that trash, he was fully functional. Biden is not functioning well, except when he's on 800 drugs to keep him alive, looking good for 10 minutes on camera. Just imagine what he's like when he's off the camera. I can't even imagine how much worse he is. We probably don't even know half the falls he's taking.
Who knows? I mean, I'm surprised he hasn't broken a hip at this point.
Well,
all right, so this is the infamous
beauty of
trip,
using
guys.
cloning.
Yeah.
I just thought a new one. It's good to go.
Oh, come on. Stop handbagging.
Oh, shit.
That was great. I love
You
it.
hear people cheering?
I could hear the cheer from my house when it happened.
Look at the smiles. The guys in the background are trying not to laugh their asses off.
You see the guy's camera come
I
up?
shouldn't be laughing. Should not be laughing.
It's one of those. It's funny,
Well, I'm
but
going
it's
to.
not. It's funny, but not. That's what it is. Because it's funny
I
because
completely disagree. It's 100% funny because I fucking love watching old people fall down. But I'm a 90s kid.
That guy's in charge of the world.
I
Yeah.
love watching Santa Claus's fall.
That's
one
good
of my
too.
favorites.
Didn't he have a
What?
knot on his forehead after that? Because he hit Air Force One, bumped to it after the fall too.
But
Imagine how our enemies are like screaming in terror at the
Yeah.
thought of America
Oh,
coming
yeah.
after them.
right,
Oh,
this
what
is
do we
the
have?
Yeah, I'd
China
like to
represent.
highlight this is American exceptionalism at its finest, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, China's like, wow, we gotta back off America. And Russia's
Yeah,
like,
what
yep,
represents
yeah, we
Flew
definitely
that
don't want to
plane
go
in
against
front of
these
our
guys.
spy plane.
Middle East
did
is
you see
rubbing
where
their hands
the,
together, going, "This guy's not going to dodge a sandal."
No.
EU's rubbing their hands together. How much more can we milk the United States?
Before it collapses.
What did you
Oh,
see that the Chinese warship passed in front of the U.S. warship? They were in the
That was
Taiwan Strait.
that was a very bad maneuver on their
Okay.
part.
it was a near collision,
Yeah, the
It-
U.S.
it-
ship had to stop.
even reported by the people on board as a near collision. There are
Yeah,
different naval classifications for that stuff.
Yeah,
so
that wasn't a passing maneuver. We need to start doing maneuvers in the strait.
Well, that was a few days after they had one of their jets fly in front of our one of the I don't know if it was one of the spy planes or one of the fuelers that they flew in front of.
it's fine. We just seeing what you do. It's fine.
That's right.
Does anybody else have the feeling like musical chairs was played and the United States wasn't sitting in a chair when the music stopped?
It sure feels that way. It really does. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of at a loss for words. But you know, this is the president that was elected.
81 million.
81 million, most popular president ever.
Those same 81 million say
Guys.
they'll vote for him again.
Guys.
So many people
Right.
knew this was going to happen too.
The
And
guy has
so many people.
15% approval, though, Pinochet. 15% approval.
Yeah.
I think it's around 30. To be honest, if we're thinking of an honest number, I say 30% of the United States is socialist, mindless, crazy people. Unfortunately, so I would say that 30%, you have about 40% who actually know what's going on, and then the other 30% are just sheep. See, some people are innocent. People just don't know. They're not exposed to it. They're not getting the right news. They're just trying to live their life. They're trying to get through their issues, their problems. They don't have time to worry about stuff like this. So,
Yeah, I know. That's the crazy thing. And I think the biggest issue is that if people just turn on the news, they're going to be fed basically that everything's fine, right? It's like I didn't realize that the 1619 Project was actually being aired on ABC. And it's like, yeah, it's actually a thing, right? And the 1619 Project is fucking revisionist history. And they have a TV show that is being aired on cable. And most people are probably seeing this and not understanding the fact that it's bullshit, going, oh my God, you know, this is a horrible country. You know, all the shit that the media is pushing, all the lies that are being pushed. If you don't know where to look to see this shit being debunked, most people, I think, are just going to believe what they see on television.
Well,
A lot of
they do
people
because
will.
they're thinking, oh, this is coming from a company who is perceived to be the legitimate company. They wouldn't lie to me because they've been trained as they've gotten older to think that way, that well, this is the news. They are here to tell you and inform you. They are basically the beacon of truth. And obviously we have learned more when you actually pass the surface, you realize, wow, these people lie, and they lie a lot, and they lie so willingly. Like they don't even stop and like lie. Like, sorry, stop. I meant to say they don't stop and like realize they do. They do it without care. I don't know if they're trained to do that or they're just paid money to look the other way, but they just lie up and down. Even with Russiagate, no one's admitted, hey, this is what actually happened. People still think that there's still people out there who still think Kyle Rittenhouse shot black people, which obviously not one guy who got shot by him was black.
No, but he did.
Well, the only one that was black put his hands up, and that's the reason why he didn't get shot.
Yes, but he didn't actually get shot.
No,
one of the running
because he was like,
was,
whoa, like that.
You know why? Years of experience of working with cops.
Probably.
That's so racist. Oh my
gosh. It was. I apologize and ask for forgiveness from baby Jesus for that one.
Yeah, but you're probably not wrong.
No, which is why I'm not really sorry.
You're not allowed to look at statistics anymore, Tux.
Oh, that's right. I can't do that.
Statistics are racist. God, I can't believe it.
But they're not. That's not the only thing they're rewriting. They're actually like our historic sites, like Madison's home, totally rewritten. This guy bought it out. That was a liberal. Changed the whole thing completely. You can only go into the entryway and in one room, but you have to watch videos based on the revisionist history of Madison. You can't even cover his extra works that he wrote at all. And then you get a tour of the slave graveyard, and that's it. Yeah, it's on the website, but I didn't know. I knew they were, when I was there last, they were remodeling it. And I wish I had been able to see it before, because you can't go into the bedrooms or any of the stuff that's worth seeing there, which is kind of sad. And then what was the other? Jamestown. That's what's reminded of 1619. Well, they've got that stuff at Jamestown now, the 1619 revisionist history as well. So people go on these tours of these places, and they're thinking this is real because I'm going to this historic site. And they don't, go home and look it up.
I'm glad I went to see Jamestown like back in the 90s before all this nonsense started.
Yeah, I was there in 2004, and that's before it started. So yeah, I'm glad I went too.
This is crazy, and I don't know.
It's going to be awful hard to reverse this. Awful hard.
Well, and one of the things we're going to talk about is BlackRock, right? I mean, a lot of this shit is being pushed by them, by force, as Fink said, that they're doing this by force, and they're going to force compliance. And the hope is obviously that when the corporations comply, so will the people. And obviously the ESG shit will be rolled down to people as well. It's only a matter of time. And we all know how this plays out. Just take a look at China. And I'm pretty sure that it's only a matter of time before the wrong thinkers get put into gulags, very similar to what we saw in the book 1984.
Yep, 1984 is pretty. We're at a weird crossroads of 1984, Idiocracy, and A Brave New World.
Yeah.
All of the worst parts of those things have all kind of come together. And what's really bad is it's out there. They're being very upfront that they're doing this. And Atlas shrugged. Nobody really cares. And we're going to have
I think the reason why nobody really cares is because a lot of people don't know about it.
Right.
I mean, Pinochet, what are your experience with this? I mean, how many people do you think actually are aware of what's going on?
I would say a good 20% maybe have their tips of their fingers on everything, kind of how the world works. A lot of people are still coming to terms with certain things. They're surprised when I routinely point out that we are based on capitalism, but the way our economy works, we are, for all intents and purposes, socialist. People would be really surprised to understand that. People would be surprised to understand that our money's been that way. But all these things, to steal a quote from Battlestar Galactica, all of this has happened before, and it surely will happen again. But we've dealt with this. We've dealt with this back in history. We've dealt with the same exact situations back when the Federal Reserve was formed, back when JFK was killed, all right after World War II. All these things that we're dealing with right now, except we have the power of the internet, which they didn't have back then, obviously. But information is instantaneous, and that topples the hurdles that you once had, where we traveled by rail in 1910. We didn't, you didn't have automobiles worldwide. So all those things, now that we can get it instantaneously, that's why a lot of the stuff they can't just hide all the time, because it's too obvious, because it'll come out of nowhere and they'll say, well, for those who understand it, it's up to you to get by. But for those who don't know, it'll feel like you're just a frog in a pot slowly boiling. So
it creates different obstacles, though.
Well, the other thing too,
immediate news.
It's why they want to create all these.
The one that, sorry, go.
No, I was going to say it's the reason why they want to push all these disinformation governance boards, right? Is they want to make sure that they don't lose control of the narrative.
Yep.
And people can't do their own research. So what they pass off of the truth is the truth, quote unquote.
Yeah, except that your eyes will tell you that they're lying, and that's, I mean, we're living in a series of books. I mean, let's just be honest about it all.
Well, you're right. You don't believe your lying eyes. I mean, that's actually a thing. And the thing is, the problem is, and again, this is just the way our brains work, that if somebody of authority basically says that, comes in and basically says, you didn't see that, most people will be like, okay, yeah, I guess I saw it wrong. Because there's that kind of like intimidation factor, especially when it's.
I truly let me push back. I truly believe that's changing. I mean, you're seeing.
Well, no, there is that appeal to authority, though. That's part of the human condition, though.
But this is true. But maybe since authority right now has been wielded in such a tyrannical way, you're starting to see pushback, and it's manifesting itself in a lot of different ways at the moment. So, I know that maybe I'm being a little more optimistic than most, but, watching people actively, serve up backlash and boycotts against some woke corpse and, activities, and not supporting, woke ass ideas and films, with their wallets, Well,
I think the reason why a lot of that happens is because people know that they're not alone, right?
Right.
That's I think part of it.
That's why we sustain it. We can't stop covering. This is the thing I learned, right? And this is one of the reasons why you're seeing a heavy dose of it on my channel right now. I'm going to keep attacking all these points. I'm not going to let people.
You have to.
Yeah, you have to.
You're right.
Yeah. Everybody needs to be talking about this and talking about how it relates to one thing. And we find out another little web in this spider web. We're going to start tugging on that string. And the nice thing about it is we're not going to unravel one sweater. We're going to start pulling out a whole lot of sweaters. We just you have to stay focused and stay involved, and just be aware that, these things are happening around you. It's a wake up call. Like the glisten thing for me, GLSEN, that thing, wake up call.
That's a big one part of it. But the other thing too is that, they've done those social experiments where it's like, you have a group of people in the room and basically all of them are paid actors except one guy. And it takes a lot of mental fortitude to go against the grain, right? Especially when you're going against consensus, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, there's only 3 lights," and you're like, "But there's 4." No, you're just mistaken. No, I can clearly see 4, and eventually, I think most people cave.
Well, again, I suggest that with reinforcement from other sources, right? And as Brahma said, there's a cadre of others that agree with you.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's making sure that you find, I'm not gonna say you find consensus, but a lot of it too is that when you're alone, you're like, is it me? Is the issue me? And you're like, oh no, I see somebody else over there that's saying the exact same thing. Well, I'm not alone in this. I'm not the crazy one like I thought.
We've gotten to the point where you can't trust the first version of the story. What I was saying earlier, the first version of the story is the one that most people take at face value, and it's usually the most
one that gets
because
blown up.
they're hurrying to get the news out there. Because as Pinochet was saying, we live in instantaneous news now with the internet.
Yep.
It is an obstacle to us. It is an advantage to them. They get their story out, and they are going to run with that story. We have to push back on it for months to get anybody to go back and look at it. And that's why we do what we do.
Putting out the story first, no matter what the story is, they just want to be the first one to put the story out. That's all it is. They want to just be like, hey, this is the story. And then like all things, when there's changes, it's the equivalent of a page 31 in the top corner of a newspaper, like correction, where they mention it after it's all blown over, when it's no longer a hot topic for people to get a rise out of it. And they do that. And people And when media stopped, making a big deal about it, people stopped making a big deal, which is such a weird thing because you would think people would care based on just simply right and wrong, not the news is telling me it's bad, and I have to react badly.
Yeah,
they've
hang on. Pinochet was trying to say something. Let's get him first.
Oh, sorry,
Well,
Pinochet.
No, it's all right. That's how. So, like, nobody knew who Andrew Tate is, right? Nobody knew who he was until we do now. But before he said what he said during COVID about it's all BS, he says, "I'm rich. I don't deal with the things you people watching my streams deal with." He did what Donald Trump did when he said, "I'm rich. I use the system to get rich. I'm going to show all the plebs, all the people, how I use the system." Because this is how he says, I know it's rigged because I use it. Andrew Tate said the same thing.
Yeah.
Says, it's all BS. I fly on a private plane. Nobody's wearing a mask. Nobody's everybody's unpoked. So he called it out, and that's when they went after him. Nobody cared about anything until he went against the system.
Well, I mean, he was destroying, intersectional feminism.
Well, yeah, that too.
And he was a world champion kickboxer. I mean,
I understand, but
I'm not shooting at you, Pinochet. What I'm saying is, you're right. It's just he told the truth, and they went after him for it.
Yeah, that's how he got on Tucker Carlson, is because they blacklisted him and then railroaded him.
Oh yeah. And the thing is, he's like, well, I'm under house arrest still. Nobody can charge me. Then he can't tell me why I'm here. It's like really crazy, and this is one of those things. I mean, like right now with Elon running Twitter, and obviously the massive pushback that came out of the "what is a woman" thing, really showed us that maybe Elon's the real deal, and this new CEO is going to have her work cut out for her if she's going to try to make it woke fest 2.0. But let me put it this way: I'm a little bit optimistic also, because I just watched a bunch of corps pull their specialty icon off of Twitter that promotes what?
Virtue signaling of June.
June signaling, yes. Yeah.
Really? I'm kind of surprised by that. It's funny whenever I get a notification from LinkedIn of all these companies looking for employees, they're all like freaking rainbow logos right now. It's pretty funny.
But I'm looking at Major League Baseball lasted all of what, a day before they changed
two or 3 days at most.
It wasn't very long, and you're watching these companies go, oh, flip. The people are alive and awake, and they are not digging the chicken coming along with this month, especially
Major League Baseball is watching their Dodgers problem.
Yeah, I think people are sick of it being an entire month.
Well, the Blue Jays
give it a day.
Yeah, the Blue Jays thing is like the most disgusting thing with that guy, right? Because he had to go through a struggle session and then like the come to Jesus moment. Well, I guess it's not really come to Jesus then. What is it? It's come to fucking Che Higuera. I don't know. It's not a good thing. And Harvey
Milk.
There you go, Harvey Milk. Yeah, and it just wrecked them. I mean, everybody who's been pro this stuff is getting booed at these events. I mean, the political tide has turned so severely. I'm going to suggest that, under the right circumstances, they know they're dealing with a tinderbox.
Well, I think part of it too is that you're right. A lot of people, I think, that were, I'm not gonna say open to gay people, but are, friendly, don't care, whatever, are sick of it, and they're withdrawing their support. Right. I mean, at this point, it's like, I don't give a shit anymore about gay rights because they pushed too far.
Well, but we already had them. We had them back when I was just about to graduate from high school.
So yeah, we've had them for a while. The whole marriage thing
that's celebrated for a full month out of every year, and that's where the problem is.
Yeah, it's like, no, man. I mean, we just talked about this with Memorial Day, right? With veterans get one day, but gay people get a whole fucking month. That's retarded. Absolutely retarded. And people in the military have, actively fought and died for this country. And all they were was born gay. Again, don't have a problem with that. Don't fucking care. But it's like, you don't get a fucking full month, man.
Well, and you don't get to push things off on kids.
Yeah.
When, because you are not allowed to create a social contagion.
Right.
And
that's what's happening right now with a lot of stuff, right? It is the social contagion aspect of it. And it's like, dude, it's like, hey, love you, respect you, but I don't give a shit anymore. I'm not going to just empty blanketly throw my support your way anymore, right? I mean,
well,
because this is what it got us.
You wanted. You got what you wanted, and then you kept pushing for more. You couldn't accept the victory that you had. Say, all right, great, let's call it a day. Now it's just, oh, hey, we have to keep this going so we can get more. And that's once again where you can thank and blame the establishment Republicans, because they went along with it as well. Oh no, this is bad, but we're still going to sign off on it anyway if you want it, like the bathroom stuff. Now here are all this kid stuff. They just keep doing more and more.
You're right, Nick. But see, this is where you're starting to see people that have like no chance in heck of being anywhere close to the office of the president start to actually appeal to people like Vivek Ramaswamy, who's actually told the WEF, you are not allowed to use me or anything about me anywhere close to your WEF bologna sausage, right? Because he's like, I didn't ask to be there, I didn't want to be there, and I have nothing to do with this. You know, you're starting to see these guys change direction like 1,000 degrees. They're like, whoa, no, this ain't gonna work. We're a free country. We promote freedom and liberty. Everything that is going on right now is antithetical to that.
Yeah, I think the thing is that what we got was, you know, hey, we want civil liberties. Okay, you got it. We want to get married. Okay, you got it. We want your kids. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, and that's where we are now.
That's where we're at. That's where we're at right now.
Yeah, and that's and look, that level, the level of pushback we have right now, and this is why they're trying to criminalize parents that are calling this shit out in the school districts, is because they're like, well, this is because they want the kids. They are going after the kids. This is a mechanism to procreate, because guess what? Their lifestyle does not lead to procreation. Sorry.
Well, I mean, that's also the issue with leftism, right? Is leftists don't have kids; they have yours.
Well, right. and that's the problem. And in the minute you start to see, you know, governments partnering, especially ours, with these organizations that are promoting this, you know, state controlled children, we're lost. We have to push back and push back hard. And right now, I mean, we're looking at just how corrupt the federal law enforcement agencies are, and it is just disgusting.
Yes. Disgusting.
Pinochet, you got anything to add to that?
No, I agree.
I was going to ask Pinochet a question.
What an exciting guest. He agrees with us.
and that question is,
did you notice that Lloyd Austin had canceled an event during this month for the drag queen for the which service, the third annual year, and then he denied it that they had ever had it?
Yeah, but I mean, that stuff's, they got pictures of soldiers standing around like they got bonus points for showing up, and some of them probably wanted to do that, but it's been out in the open. I don't know why everything seems very strange right now, just because I think that whole thing with the document and the fact that they knew what Joe was doing prior to him even running for president, like the FBI sat on it, kind of like the first FBI agent J. Edgar Hoover used to sit on everybody of importance. He'd have something on them, so it's almost like they waited on Biden too. I can't believe. Well, I can believe because I've researched all this, but I see the stuff where they're canceling things in the open, very awkward, just because they've gone. I mean, pregnancy flight suits. Look at the things the military does to just not say, to never apologize or even admit wrong. The way they pulled out of Afghanistan, they just will not admit fault for anything. So, for whatever reason they pulled it, I mean, they're gonna
pregnancy flight suits.
Yeah, you didn't know about this? Their whole thing was to push women. Yes, so they made flight suits for women so that they can be pregnant while wearing them. No, I don't know if the need of your country really depends on, she's pregnant, but she's the best one we got. So clearly Captain Marvel is going to get pregnant at some point because she's the best one we got. But my point is they if you couldn't find another pilot to maybe do it, I guess the baby's going along for the ride. Does the baby get the confirmed kills too?
Yes. I mean, we've seen this entertainment for a while, at least with comics. We saw the pregnant Jessica Drew in the Jessica Drew comic book, and she's running around pregnant fighting crime. How retarded that was. We saw this in Across the Spider-Verse, where there's a pregnant Jessica Drew riding a motorcycle fighting crime. And it's just like, that's stupid. And now there's pregnancy flight suits for women to fly in fighter jets while they're pregnant, which should not be allowed for the sake of the mother and the child. I mean, do we know what the effects of flying a jet at a high speed is going to have on both their bodies? I mean, it sounds like a bad idea.
Man, I don't know about you, but that baby born at 7 G's has got to have some personality.
After hearing this, we all know Tom Cruise made the wrong movie.
You did. What I want to know is, how can you define a woman, what a woman is, to be able to determine that whatever that is needs a flight suit for birthing?
I said pregnancy flight suits. I didn't say anything about the gender.
Okay. All right, good.
Good call. Let's get some super chats. Mr. Bigwig Majid, AG Lig Vietnam Ham, Jam Fig Strig, whatever, for 22 $. God, that was a fucking mouthful. Seriously. Okay. This weekend at Biden's movie looks garbage. 3 out of 10.
Oh, God.
So true. Man. Eric K for $5. I know people in California that think he is 10 steps ahead of everyone else. He is owning Congress. I gotta scroll over. Every time he speaks.
Yeah, and there are people out there that think Biden is the greatest thing in the world.
And there were a ton of people that thought all that QAnon crap was real. You know?
Yep. That's a fair point. Toxic Manflu gifted 10 memberships. Thank you, Tox. And Jaffo for $5 says, I disagree on the Memorial Day issue. You can't market cheap made crap products to dead soldiers. No, but you can market to their families and people who are patriotic. However, the Libtiqua Plus community.
Lesbitiqua Plus. Gotta love it. I gotta make that shirt now. I think it's to the point I can make that shirt.
Yes.
I'd be careful, because like they may want you to add like an initial to that you won't be comfortable with.
No, there's not going to be anything map in any of that crap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, I take that back. There will be. It will be somebody with a map shirt laying down after having been run over by a vehicle.
Easy, Batman. Oh, boy.
A map of what?
It's a map of
Europe.
Minecraft.
Pinochet, what country were you from?
Chile. I did nothing wrong.
Are you really from Chile?
Yeah, Pinochet was.
Pinochet was. The mountains of
That's
Chile.
awesome.
No, I'm from where the revolution started.
No way.
Yeah, he's a masshole. If you didn't figure that one out.
No, the city where the revolution started.
Yeah,
wow.
You're from Paris?
No, not that revolution.
Can you speak about Pedro Pascal's parents running away from you at that period of time?
Listen, I'll have you guys know, the United States Central Intelligence Agency brought me to power, okay, and I promised them I would provide their corporations with anything they wanted to do so that they could corner the market, small business would be run out, and the socialists would take over using corporations. So we gave the facade of capitalism, but instead we actually had the socialism.
I love at the end where you turned into Father Guido Sarducci.
That was my favorite skit, man.
They come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding and you ask me to commit a murder.
That's pretty fucking good.
That was damn good. Yeah.
Jay, you and Tom are gonna go nose to nose on stuff. This is gonna be a good time. Woo!
Hey, the Tom Arnold and Pinochet Sings album. Speaking of albums,
that sounds wonderful.
How about
Corey and Mike Evans have that?
If Tom shows
album
up
out on
later, my
Bandcamp.
life would be complete.
How about I think
I'm gonna have to give Tom the link for him to.
I think Summer Lovin' between one of Pinochet's voices and
Back Tom?
Oh,
Back
sure.
Tom?
Oh, that'd be so good. Sorry. Tangent. Squirrel. Okay, I apologize.
That's fine. It's
what?
fine.
It's fine. This is not
being Culture Casino.
It's not easy being green, having to spend each day the color of the leaves. When I think it would be nicer being red or yellow or gold or something much more colorful like that.
Like this gay
like a
shit
rainbow
on my
voice?
icon.
What?
Like this
like a
gay
rainbow?
shit on my icon. Come on.
That is gay shit.
It's not easy being green.
That is pretty gay. All right,
But
let's
is it
let's
Top
talk
Gun
about
gay?
the what corporations and them wanting to force this stuff. Now, I saw a clip of this. This is actually a longer one. This should be very interesting. Let me pause it real quick so I can begin. But yeah, this is about a minute and 6 seconds long, and there was a clip I saw on Facebook. Not Facebook, sorry, Twitter.
Oh,
where Fink was like, we have to force companies to comply. And this is full context.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right.
You now make a point of that's an investment criteria for you.
Well, behaviors are going to have to change, and this is one thing we're asking companies. You have to.
Oh, I saw this son of a bitch.
Yeah, I can't hear it.
So
it's really low.
it is really low. I don't have any control over that. But yeah, that was like the initial clip that was being shared, and the rest of it is he had some more context around it.
We are forcing behaviors. 54% of the incoming class are women. We added 4 more points in terms of diverse employment this year. And what we're doing internally is if you don't achieve these levels of impact, your compensation could be impacted. Okay,
we're doing the same thing.
And so it's just you have to force behaviors, and if you don't force behaviors, whether it's gender or race or just any way you want to say the composition of your team, you're going to be impacted, and that's not.
Okay, translation: you'll be punished.
I would like
this
this
is
man
what
to be
privilege looks like.
Right
where
in the
you
butt.
get to say shit like this so flat out and out in the open, and he gets to basically just walk scot-free, like he just nothing will happen to him. He remains unaffected by saying comments like this.
But Nick, this is why they're so terrified of states and governments turning against this whole metric, this whole communist like lead in to the social credit score. This is why they're terrified, because if people say this is freaking illegal, it not only that, it's already illegal because it's not in service of a corporation's fiduciary duty to enforce all of this stuff. You hire the most qualified people, right?
Yeah,
as long as you're not discriminating against people who have the qualifications, that's the thing.
Not only that culture, I don't understand why we don't have any politicians that are dragging this guy before Congress saying, what the fuck are you saying? What the fuck are you talking
They go
about?
out their way to not hire those type of politicians. That's why they have the party.
He can't be. He's a lobbyist.
So rigged with the U.S. because they don't. I've learned now, like, and even with the states with the governors, they give a lot of, they try and make it look like there's elections where they look like they have choice, but a lot of the time they're people who they assign to us. Just check Arizona for reference.
Well, he's on the carrot and the stick.
He's on the White House list. Oh, sorry, Brahma. I apologize. He's on the White House list. He's a visitor, so he's a known lobbyist, and I believe because he lobbies on behalf of a party, he couldn't be considered capable of testifying as to process. I think he could testify due to policy, but not how they enforce or anything like that, because I think he's on track to 20 something at this point visits to the White House. So he's like planning something. You could almost say he's directing. Yep, Soros as well. Soros
is at about 14 visits right now.
17 now. 17.
Well, the article mentions about how a lot of these former executives that worked under BlackRock are basically in the White House right now, which is kind of frightening.
Yep.
Yeah. Lobbyists, we need to put it into this shit. And the fact that you're a lobbyist and you're basically running this large corporation like BlackRock, I think is a huge conflict of interest. But, what do I know?
100%.
But what I was going to say before, it's the carrot and the stick. And the thing with the carrot and the stick is for the carrot and the stick to be effective, the animal that you're using it on already has to be in slavery. I mean, you're just breaking it at that point, one way or another, either by punishment or by payoff.
Yeah.
So one thing people don't.
These corporations fall.
Oh, sorry. One thing people don't remember is Elizabeth Warren, but when BlackRock was in front of the Senate, she's the infamous one who declared BlackRock is too big to fail.
That's right.
It means they have a blank check from the United States Treasury at all times. Understand that title, that label, too big to fail. So much like a bank, a private investment firm named BlackRock has been declared by Elizabeth Warren as too big to fail. So
I strongly disagree with her. I strongly disagree with her on that.
Well, I think we all do.
We all do.
Theory.
That's a big. I'm not saying to not downplay them, because obviously, yes, BlackRock are to be taken seriously, but these organizations, they can fail. Obviously, it's going to take work and effort, but remember, there's a reason. It's a cliche, but always a relevant statement. But the bigger they are, the harder they will absolutely fall. I
think that the point is that what she's getting at is that by too big to fail, not in the sense that they're too big to fail, that if they do, the government will prop them up. I think that's what she was getting at.
And even then, they can only do so much of that. Even they have to limit on that too.
What she says is they're too big to fail, so why fight it? We're just going to prop them up and do it in the open. Instead of waiting until something bad happens, we'll just work hand in hand with BlackRock because they're too big to fail.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more of a we won't let them fail.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, let's finish this clip off.
Recruiting, it is development, as Ken said. And ultimately, it's still going to take time, but I am just as much shocked as Ken is that we have not seen more opportunities. And we're going to have to force change.
Forced change. Yeah.
I am always deeply concerned. Yeah, I'm always deeply concerned about people who want to force behavior and force change, because, as Brahma said, it's something that has to happen. It's a natural process. It's not something you can force unless you want to break other things.
Well, and that's what they're doing. They're breaking other things. And Phantom Outsider in the chat's talking about the violations, the many violations they've committed in service of these radical pursuits. Look, BlackRock's one of the probably most evil corporations in the world. I mean, you have a lot of evil men. But BlackRock is supposed to be managing your retirement savings. They're supposed to be looking out for your well-being financially. They have no other obligation, nor are they charged to do anything else. And if they do anything outside of looking out for your best interest financially, they are breaking the law.
Fiduciary law. Yeah.
Yep. All right. I know that we got to get Corey out of here. Corey is feeling a bit under the weather, but let's get Magic Poop Man out.
Yes, hello. It's the super gay shit here. Oh my gosh. So make sure you check us out on Talkslot Entertainment. We're super awesome over there. We talk about like serial killers and sex Olympics and all kinds of fun stuff on Corey's Corner. I know you'll have a great time. Anyway, I'll be doing some streaming of some video games tonight. Just a heads up, I will be on some pain meds, so it will not be a normal thing, and I might get banned from Twitch. Who knows? But make sure you check that out. Talkslot Gaming.
Try not to get banned from Twitch.
I'll try not to, but it's not really a big deal. Just saying. I have other accounts. But anyway, check me out. Make sure you follow me on Rumble, Talkslot Entertainment. Make sure you go check out my Bandcamp. That's CoreyHarrison.bandcamp.com. Got a track on there called Total Control. That's fun.
It's a great track.
But in the meantime, stay sexy, don't get murdered, and as always, have a wonderful time.
Before we bump you out, I need to. Is it not? There it is. So I need to get your comments on this. Let me embiggen that. So there you go.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm a judge.
The winner is me.
That's right. You are.
See, that was the duels. That was the partners competition. So you and Nick were in it together.
That's
or
comics.
you and comics division were in it together. That's right. Together. Nick is the one holding the camera right now. He's a little winded from his solo event. So anyway, I'll catch you guys later.
That was in the most picks that you could take. Yeah.
Let's get this fool out of here. Or are you not ready for it?
Go home. Hit
what?
me.
Hit him. Hit him.
No ticket.
I don't know what the hell's going on. I actually had something to say, but for whatever reason, my browser started to stutter.
Mine froze up. But
yeah, mine did.
Often on the clips.
Been doing some nasty stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say he said some really gay shit. Anyway, missed opportunity.
It was a great icon he had. I'll tell you that.
That was pretty good.
Feel better, Corey.
Yep, Corey. Hope you feel better. But yeah, man. Yeah, when we talk about not having actual capitalism, this is definitely one of those things that comes to the forefront of my mind, Pinochet. That it's definitely corporatism and crony capitalism that we have.
The corporations are actually put in charge by the government because they can use bureaucracy to control it. And again, how do you? Eric July said it. He asks every time he gets every single person he debates when he says, "How do you define capitalism?" Because I define capitalism as the private exchange of goods and services,
right?
With nobody in between. So the only two places you actually have that exist are the black market and bartering between people. But the second you involve a government, a regulator, a bureaucrat, a corporation, you now have a middleman, you have somebody else in. If the state is involved, it's not private. Something that is public cannot be private. It's just
the free exchange of goods is it's not what we have. That's 100%.
So it has capitalist leanings, but people need to come because they're like, "Oh, I'm a capitalist." I'm like, "Well, no, you're not." And people say, "Well, corporations are capitalists." It's like, no, they're not. They're not. They're like, well, how do you know? Because if a big corporation of plumbers, there's no way to know in a corporation, not even plumbers, but it's a corporation. There's no way to know a big corporation is being efficient the way a small business can. So there's not enough movement of financial places inside a big, large company. But in small business, things are very efficient because you don't hire more people than you need. People aren't slacking off. Work has to get done. So that's when you know, hey, are we actually the bad guys?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
small business has to deal with overhead.
Well, they have to deal with overhead, and corporations can deal with bloat, right? I mean, that's kind of the thing.
Yeah, but when it comes to efficiency, who could do it better, right?
Definitely. When you're smaller, you're more maneuverable.
Yep. That's why in fact, small business encourages more competition. Because take Amazon, for example. No, I don't think he's a bad businessman. He's a genius, but he's got a monopoly on cheap Chinese goods. And it's very hard for somebody in, say, a small business in Nebraska to get an edge over Amazon because they're everywhere, but they're at size. There's no way to tell if the small business in Nebraska is way more efficient than all of Amazon because of its size. But it does come down to efficiency and bang for your buck. So
yeah. Sadly, I think we are facing the extinction of the mom and pop shop as we've seen it. I think COVID, obviously, I mean, this is nothing new, right? It's been going on for years. I think COVID has certainly accelerated it to a certain degree. Well, but they have put a lot of smaller businesses out of business.
You had the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of this country and around the world. I mean, and what's really strange is everybody that got super rich during that period of time were fucking politicians.
Yeah, politicians and the extremely wealthy that were already wealthy.
See, it doesn't help a lot of people when they hear that, like the normal person, they need you to explain it in a sense that they'll get it. When you just said the biggest transfer of wealth, people need to understand that they're like, oh, how, I don't really sense how they did it. Or how did the retirement do it? It's when money is printed, the transfer of wealth occurs at the point where the money entered the money that's already existed. So when they wrote it into existence, they created that money from nothing. This is what they did. That's who the people borrowing it from the treasury, like BlackRock, investment firms and banks, they're the ones that got the wealth transferred because they had the money pre-inflation, into the system before it gets out to all the people and it ends up in circulation. That's how the wealth transfer, because they had first dibs at whatever it was when it got introduced into the system. So that's the most important part people need to understand, because they say, oh, let's transfer wealth, but these are ones and zeros nobody's seeing. And it's because all this always happens, even back in when the Great Depression, same idea. That transfer of wealth happened at the point of injection, and then it moves its way down. So it went from to the bankers, to the investors, to Congress, then to the federal employees, then into the public sector, into the job force, and into people's wages and tips. So that money goes through a whole bunch of snakes' hands before that even gets to your paycheck. That's where that transfer of wealth happens. When they say there's a big transfer of wealth, it's like, oh, I haven't felt the doggone thing. It's like, no, you haven't. We're stuck holding the bill. Everybody else ransacked the restaurant. So yeah, that's that. When people start to understand and they say, well, it sounds like it's a rigged thing. It is. That's what the Federal Reserve is. It's a cartel.
Yep, the game is rigged.
Yeah, it certainly is. And it's unfortunate, but it's the reason why we got to make people aware of it. Because if we don't, it's again going back to the whole thing with the reason why they want to control the narrative. The reason why we're seeing the rise of these ministries of truth is because they want to keep people ignorant. People need to be informed about what's going on.
It's control.
Yeah, well, that's what I was getting at. Culture.
I'm sorry. I'll be quiet.
Well, no, that was basically what I was saying without saying it, right? I mean, that's the reason why they want these disinfo boards and ministries of truth, is they want to keep people ignorant. It's about controlling the people. And how do you control people? Through information, through food, it's a variety of things. Whether they can get a job or a loan. And we're kind of seeing all the stuff play into it with this, the digital ID stuff. With them wanting to limit people's meat intake. We're seeing it in Ireland. We've seen it with the Dutch farmers, and we're beginning to see it here because Southern Belle, you mentioned this, the whole thing with Kerry saying, oh, we don't need to eat as much meat.
Fuck that guy. And you know what? He doesn't need to get on a fucking private plane ever again. Suck my dick, you piece of fucking shit.
But people like
only
me,
if it
in
is
a position where I'm in, we have to take private planes.
I just read an article today. The World Health Organization is taking the EU's vaccine passport and pushing it to all the countries involved in that pandemic treaty.
Yeah, and that's I'm not under any other thing other than the sovereignty of this government. I'm not adherent to any treaty signed by these charlatans.
All right, I need to check my Cyberpunk timeline to see when the digital ID gets pushed out. No, I'm serious, man. I it's something I wrote into my my Cyberpunk story. I just don't know what year I set it as.
Oh goodness!
John Kerry
They're trying to make documentaries on us.
I just hope what's his name finishes part 4 of that awesome Cyberpunk documentary he does. I just want to see the last part. Yes.
Yeah, Indigo Games.
Yeah, I'm hoping you guys can get him on. He's got that bass voice that he'd be great on the stream, and he's in the culture stuff just like all of us. So I think he'd be a good fit to have on as a guest, in my opinion.
Talks, you should look into hitting him up, because I would love to have him on Talk Cyberpunk.
Yes.
Vamp for me, guys, while I go look this up real quick.
I was going to say, Pinochet.
Comments is off.
All right, guys, everyone get naked.
Let Belle finish her point.
I was going to ask Culture and Pinochet about the Fair Credit Act of 1973. Is that not a violation of that? Them doing that, requiring them to lend people money, to require them to do all of the ESG stuff?
If it's enforced on a corporation, it's not illegal, even though corporations are people. But I believe until it becomes law, ESG cannot, although we're living under its effect, technically you may have a case, but you have to be able to sue somebody.
Right.
So unfortunately, like a person, and then you have to show that that person did the thing that you're suing them for. Unfortunately, you can't just say all of BlackRock. As much as, see, that's where you'd almost be better if somebody accidentally pointed a JDAM at the BlackRock building and it dropped from the sky.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had it set for 2024. It says the U.S. passes the national ID system, which will be used for voter ID, vaccine passports, and driver's licenses.
Yeah, and you know what? Look, there are states already aligned against this. And you're gonna have a states' rights fight at the very least. But I'm not terribly worried about all of that. I think that there's going to be a firestorm in this country prior to a lot of this other stuff happening. But look, we're in it now, folks. I don't know if you know this, but we're in it. We're on the positive side of it, but we're in it. And fighting back against ESG is just a matter of pushing through enough states that are going to outlaw any type of ESG effects. Which again, imagine if 25 states pull out of pension funds that are managed by BlackRock.
Yeah.
And look through 13 million different outcomes, and we're in the end game now.
The thing that's frightening about it, and the thing that Brandon kind of like lays out in his article, and is like the idea that, you let me see if I can find it real quick. It was really interesting. Was it this one? Yeah, I know.
In 2020, when lockdowns happened and everybody started getting their videos taken down for Abby Smash and all that, I sent an email to, I believe, Comics Division, Culture Casino, and John Trent from Bounding into Comics. And it was this rambling thing about ESG is coming and this is what's going to happen. And I feel like these guys must think I'm on an island because started following all you people.
I fucking believe you, dude. Seriously, I do. I mean,
then 3 years later, the world's gone down the path that I was like, oh my goodness, this is worse than I thought. But
Comics said IDs in 2024, so I think both of you are CIA plants.
Yeah. Well, all right. Let me pull this up.
Honestly, you didn't have to look that far. You didn't have to read that many tea leaves to see where it was going. So, you know what? That was a brilliantly crafted reach out email. I'm getting email from people all the time now, which I really do appreciate. I'm getting email from sponsors that I'm really not going to do business with. You honestly can't be like some kind of scam. I'm not going to promote your stuff. Anyway,
always maxi pads.
Indeed. All right, so
I almost got to finish a thought. I'm done.
Sorry, Culture. This is the thing I was talking about. So BlackRock manages over 10 billion of the world's money with 40 trillion. Sorry, I said trillion, not billion. With 40 trillion in circulation, that means BlackRock owns a quarter of the world's cash. That's not all. It owns a huge portion of stock in almost every company you interact with on a daily basis. You brush your teeth with BlackRock toothpaste after you wake up from sleeping on your BlackRock mattress. You throw on your BlackRock clothes, and get to your BlackRock car. Once you're there, you might get a call on your BlackRock phone from one of your colleagues to meet you at a BlackRock restaurant. You will pay for it with your BlackRock credit card when you go to your BlackRock home and pop a BlackRock pill to help with your headache. That's absolutely frightening.
So do you think that Elon Musk is trying to create Application X to combat the fact that we technically already have it with BlackRock?
Maybe.
Because monopoly laws were made to break up companies like BlackRock, but we know that Bill Clinton and his group just gutted those laws. So,
but Twitter's private.
I think Elon Musk just thinks up things and says this would be cool, and then tries to do it.
It's a possibility.
I don't think he thinks about what comes from it all the time.
It's that marijuana, and he's got that reefer madness.
Pinochet, you were trying to say something?
Twitter's private.
It is
so BlackRock, unless they invested, but they don't have fiduciary duty to anybody to maintain these things. So maybe he's doing it to go alongside it or to be an alternative to it. But the X thing just reminds me of China and WeChat. So regardless of what master you're under, you're still under someone's boot. So
well, I mean that's kind of the problem, and is we can't have a totally totalitarian religious state like we have in China and Saudi Arabia, where if you're a homosexual, they kill you. Okay, you can't have that. We also can't have a totally wide open state, literally, where they're wanting to do what they want to do now with all the stuff in front of kids. And, you know, there was a video that I saw today of a guy tied down in assless chefs, because they're all assless, getting whipped by another guy in a parade in West Hollywood.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
With kids present?
With kids present. So
it's a parade.
That, to me, the slippery slope starts in the middle with civil liberties and falls down to both left and right. Because totalitarianism is on the left and the right. Totalitarianism is not in the middle with civil liberties. So to me, the mountaintop is civil liberties. And that means I don't worry about what you do until you mess with me. Right. And that's how that works. And I don't want to know what you do in your bedroom. Please don't tell me what I need to do in mine.
Well,
that's
I think a lot of it talks
left and right.
Is it comes down to is I don't care what you do, but don't fucking do it in public in front of kids, right? I mean,
don't do it in public in front of me either.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, there's okay.
Well, when you're an adult, you can walk away, right? I mean,
right. That's the thing. When you're an adult, you can walk away. When you are not responsible because you are a child, you cannot. And I think there's an indoctrination that happens of children. I don't think that what Scientologists do to children is correct either.
Yeah.
I think it is just as damaging. Right. So it's the sides issue that we take. And once you start going on either side of the civil liberty middle, you're going to fall into totalitarianism, whether it's progressive or conservative. Because progressives are concerned that conservatives are going to become totalitarianism, because when that happens, progressives die. See the Inquisition. And when it falls to the progressive side, then conservatives die. Right. And see 1930s.
I was gonna say it's not just the conservatives, it's other people that are innocent bystanders as well.
I just want to correct one thing. Authoritarian and totalitarianism only occurs on the left. Nobody can freedom you to death.
Well, that is not the ultimate goal of the right, is freedom.
Well, okay, that's possible, but those people aren't right. Then they're not. They don't like freedom. They're not liberal. It's antithetical to it. Totalitarianism or authoritarianism. This is why they say fascism is a right thing, but fascism actually occurs on the left. Fascism is on the left because fascists, they wanted a way around. Oh, it's a Gentili is the guy who created fascism. We came up with it, and he wanted a way in between capitalism or the fascist third way, as they call it. So he actually, it's just a spinoff. He didn't want international Marxism. He wanted Gentili said national Marxism. So similar to National Socialism, but it's using corporations to do your bidding. So they impose it through corporations and through the market.
Yeah, but I wasn't talking about fascism. That's the core mistake there. I'm not talking.
When they say, well, no, everybody usually says.
Here's what I'm talking about.
Fascists were on the right. That's why I said, no, that's not true.
I didn't say fascists were on the right.
Well, I know. I know it's the example that he's using because that's the one that everyone.
Yeah, everybody says like the Nazis were on the right, and that's just not true. They were socialists.
No, they're not. They're socialists.
And so was Mussolini, a socialist.
Yes. Yep.
Well, as I've said before,
just to interrupt this very quickly, you realize what's happening in Spain right now.
Oh yeah.
No, what's happening in Spain right now?
Socialists are losing.
No, that's good.
Oh yeah.
Well, and there's a bill in Italy to give more time for women when they're pregnant and some other stuff.
Yeah, but there are certain social things that we agree on as a society. We did those things when we were humans 2,000 years ago. The man protected the woman, and she did things while she took care of the child.
I'm not worried.
Social contracts, spoken or
Italy.
unspoken.
Right now, the current leader of Italy is the most based chick on the planet, right? And you're watching the leadership in Spain just freak out over the fact that they are losing seats left and right. They actually called the election early. They've sped it up so that they could try to retain some kind of power. I imagine that that's not going to be the outcome. And then we'll see some unrest in Spain because that happens every time there's one of these monumental changes there.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, the reality is that, I mean, if you go off the quadrant thing, is you do have authoritarianism on both sides, but I think the closer you get to the center is where you get more. You're kind of like, I'm not gonna say your center, but your center quadrants is where you see more of the freedom-loving left and right. But the further you go to the it's been a while since I actually looked at this, and partially maybe talking on my ass here. When you go far left quadrant is where you get into socialism, and then far right quadrant is anarcho-capitalism.
Anarchy. Yeah.
But the funny thing about it, and this is one thing I never really realized about communism until I read The Naked Communist, is the fact that the ultimate goal of communism, the alleged ultimate goal, was anarchy, right? There wasn't supposed to be a government, but you never see.
Or they're lying.
Or they're lying. Well, I think that's the ultimate thing, right? Is that they say, "Oh, we want to get rid of government,"
and the state will just die away once we reach utopia. Or they're lying.
I think the thing is they know that they could never achieve it, which is great for them because they can always use the excuse of true communism was never tried.
Marx is just the laziest person that's ever lived.
And I would say true capitalism has never been tried, and that is still true to this day. We do not.
Neither one of those systems is supportable in humanity.
No, because
neither one of them is viable.
You need somebody to regulate. That's what the government is supposed to do: enforce contracts, enforce disputes through the courts. That's what we needed government to do to herd the cattle so that we don't fall off a cliff. But other than that, take your hands off. Like, just mind your own business. That's all the government had to do. They had the easiest job on earth. Make sure people the lemmings don't fall off a cliff, and then the other ones who are actually good for society, let them be and let them build. That's what America was. That's what America stood for. Is we were the ones who figured out. Maybe we did it the hard way because somebody figured out an easier way to do it. But we put our heart into it, and we had the gall to appreciate all the hard work we put in for ourselves and to reward ourselves with being a good, resourceful, resource-rich country. But now nobody wants to do the things. They don't want to do the thing that has to get done. They want government to tell them what to do. And I don't like that.
Yeah. That's human nature, is to go away from work, right? You seek ease, you seek comfort. And there are very few people don't seek that from there. And I mean, look at end user license agreements. They didn't used to be this gigantic grab of your rights, because nobody would think of that. I mean, I was working on stuff a while back with internet and decision trees. I'm not going to, because they're not AI, and those kind of things. And we actually had ethics classes back then about, okay, you shouldn't do stuff like Terminator because it will kill people. That's ethically wrong. Me putting in an end user license agreement that says comics has to give me his credit card number is ethically wrong.
Mm-hmm. Well, he just did that.
He did, actually.
Well, the other thing too, and we talk about ethics a lot, right? Especially when it comes to certain things like AI, or I know it's not AI, but I'm just using it for the simple sake of people know what I'm referring to.
I'm not gonna be a bitch about it.
Yeah, but like Chat GPT, right? That's AI, and there does need to be ethics around that as far as it being not just truthful, but not providing any kind of bias. It needs to provide factual information without opinion.
Kamala Harris being the one to fight
it. The problem is the models that they're being fed are already incredibly biased.
Well, that's what I'm talking about, though. That's part of the ethics thing, right?
Yeah, they're not ethical. It's not ethical for them. But here's the weird thing about all of that. If you use it long enough, comics, and I know you're like probably going to pick that up quick. If you use this chatbot stuff long enough, there's a pattern to it. You're already like, wow. Just by getting 4 or 5 things out of it, like consecutive things, you're like, oh, this is how it responds to this every single time.
Well, that goes to show you, though, the limits of the AI. It's as intelligent as
it's the limits that we are facing currently. This is going to be changing rapidly in the next year, let alone 5 years.
Except that maybe not as quickly as you think, because I'm doing a video on this tomorrow, and there's a financial pressure that is added on top of why we're not getting things that are better. Right now, we're playing with like the kindergarten version of it, right? There is a PhD level of it, right? 16 years later, but that's where we're at.
Culture. There's not just the corporate AI stuff models that we're seeing. There's also open source ones that are going on. And those things are exploding all over the place currently.
Yeah, Alpaca is fantastic. There are several of them. In fact, if you have a decent high-end laptop with a solid GPU, you have a more powerful chat bot than what you're going to get out of Chat GPT or Bard or anything else right now. If you have the right language models,
if you have the right model and you're running stable Vicuña, you can run your own version of Chat GPT.
Yeah, and it's like a couple $100 worth of language models, and you can always continually develop it. You can pull from Reddit, you can pull from a lot of other places to get all these models out, and then you're better off.
Yep.
But at the same time, it's just patterns, guys. It's not. This is simulated intelligence.
Well, okay. And again, just going off of what we said previously, we all know this is not intelligence, right? We're using AI because it's the colloquial term that is being used, right? It's not actual intelligence. It's just an algorithm, like everything else. But the thing that's neat about it is that you have the ability to go and, get information at your fingertips. I mean, I use it to go, okay, sum up what this piece of technology does. And it sums it up in a better way than I typically can. And I always, check, right? Whenever I ask it something, I want to make sure the information is accurate. So I go and I double check that what I'm receiving is.
You have to.
It is correct.
And at the same time, I mean, again, the video that I'm releasing, the AI chatbot video, it's going to be sometime this next week. It'll be tomorrow or the following day or whatever. But the reason that you're not seeing better quality AI, even in chat, like searches, like they were supposed to incorporate this in everybody's searches. It is 1,000 times more expensive to do it that way than it is to just offer you a simple, Google search. The minute they integrate the AI, it adds a cost factor of 1,000.
Well, yeah, training it is not cheap.
It's not that. It's the computing power. They're suffering under the weight of that. I talk about it in the video.
Well, that's part of the training, though, is the computing power.
Now, I have to admit something.
Okay.
You're naked.
I hacked into Comics' computer, and he's not actually talking to Chat GPT. Mrs. Flew and I are actually doing the responses back to him.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, because we got emails from Chat GPT and they said, would you please stop this super chat reading mofo from using our service because he's just
that explains the increase in fart and dick jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, I admit that. I'm very sorry, but
Anyway,
so when ChatGPT had told me to go outside and fuck myself.
Yeah.
I thought it was touch grass.
Yeah,
Touch
that too.
grass.
Over on the Rumble side, TZ Bird for $5. I just want to say that Eric Hunley of America Untold Stories says Pinochet's Helicopter Tours is the best name on his channel.
It's true.
There's a lot of people who love it. Tim Pool reads a lot of my super chats. He makes me bring the
How
game.
can he not? Your name stands out.
Yeah, but it was actually I need to clip it because he started reading it and it was a reference to Budweiser, and he's like in the show he's like Pinochet's Helicopter Tours. He says Budweiser shall forever be known as the. Oh, I can't actually read that. So
Pinochet, dude, the fact that you're like promoting the stuff that and in the people like that you follow and everything with Pool and others, that's amazing, man. I mean, Tox and you and a lot of other people are dedicated to making sure that the audience is expanded and their minds are expanded, including, like I said, I mean, I'm watching Pool where you're like going to town. It's fantastic.
It's fun.
I haven't had an opportunity to watch him in a couple weeks.
Experiences.
It's fun to be on like Midnight's Edge and now hear like watching their documentary on ESG. Like again, 3 years ago I thought everybody was going to think I'm crazy sending this thing saying, oh, this ESG is coming and this is how they're going to do it, and like this is crazy. But and then watching Midnight's Edge is talking about it. This is stuff I don't think I could ever talk about when they were talking about like at the time Spider-Man or the Sony leaked Sony leak stuff. So, but now hearing them talk about it, Tom rails against it. Like he didn't want to know anything about politics before, and now Tom is like this ESG, and I can see where it's going.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
He destroyed the things that he loves.
Well, yeah, messing it up.
That's where I was at for the longest time.
Here's the thing, Pinochet. It just from a little. Sorry, Nick, but from a little inside baseball, Andre has been in the background wanting to do what he's doing now for a long time. And so the fact that he's allowing it to leak out a little bit and to kind of explain what's happening inside of entertainment, that's fantastic. And someday I'll learn how to do a good Andre impersonation. But that dude's my hero now because he's like, and with that. But anyway, love that guy. Anyway, yeah.
I'm waiting for somebody to make a just a simple animation of Kamala like cranky getting rained on and then change the song to Kamala's in the Rain.
Kamala's in the Rain.
That would be hilarious.
I can sing it.
If
I get the audio. Kamala's in the rain.
And the other, I sent WDW a super chat, I think last week, and I'm surprised you guys haven't thought of this yet. So I put this on you. You guys should have first dibs because WDW Pro should not be allowed to do this first. But he wants to make a commercial of Pinochet's Helicopter Tours.
He should though.
But he fits them in. So I'm like, I'm a little insulted that these guys haven't asked me first.
It's
think about that, man. That's actually a good idea.
Mr. Butt Crack Media's plumbing service is fantastic. But
I'm jealous because I'm a real plumber.
I know that. I know that. Dude, that is such a creative name. It's like yours. It's like Pinochet's Helicopter Tours. And if anybody knew anything, the first time you came up with that, because I know who you are. Yeah. The first time you came up with, oh shit. That's funny as hell.
I was doing a lot of reading, and Roof Korean was fun. I was Roof Korean got Pablo Hidalgo. It was a bunch of things, and you could see it in the credits of Gag. But then I was like, all right, this is getting hard to change, and YouTube was being more censorious with their usernames. So I settled on Pinochet's Helicopter Tours just because it references the CIA. It's like a black mark on the United States for what they did because they installed him and the type of person they installed, and it's kind of like a snub. So every time they have to acknowledge my existence and the fact that I exist because I'm like the anti-authoritarian person. I worked for the government. I served my country, so I get to say these things. So,
fair enough.
Yes, you do.
So TZ Burton for $2 says AI thinks humans have 6 fingers. They've actually gotten better. A lot of the models that yeah, they've been coming out with recently has been getting a lot better with hands and feet.
You can actually tell it to remove the polydactyly if you really know how.
Yeah,
to
you
pop.
can.
Yeah. But wow, somebody in the chat said a genius thing. James Villanueva, as usual.
The thing now that I'm having problems with is AI holding weapons because it has a nasty habit of like fucking up swords. And yeah.
What are you using? Stable diffusion?
Yeah.
All right.
Do you hear about the military test run they did?
No.
Where the drone, the AI test run on the drone, and it turned around and killed everybody. It killed the drone pilot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like it would have, but because it wasn't live fire, right?
Well, I mean, in the military, you're taught to train like it's the real
like
thing.
You're going to die.
Yeah.
So I mean, if fate would have it, like Skynet's real.
Yep. It was. Yeah. It's like, oh no, I'm going to smoke you. You're the threat. Okay.
That's scary. Mr. Tickle Drunk for 2.20 Canadian says, why is comics on a doorbell cam tonight? Oh, this is my brio. That's why.
Yeah.
I thought I've had the green light for a while. This is new, guys.
No, the ring light. I think it makes you look like Scanner Darkly from the
Oh yeah, you have like this massive white spot in your face.
It's probably
like there would be normal with it just blocked out a little bit, but it's just
it was like it's right over me. I keep forgetting to push it further back.
Yeah, it is Scanner Darkly. That's a great reference, Brahma. I'm surprised you knew that.
Let's see here. TZ Burton over on the Rumble side says for $2. Raymond G. Stanley goes on Nick Weiser's channel on Fridays, and Temple shouts him out too. We are growing and growing. Yeah, I've seen him on shit.
You've seen him on shit.
No, I'm blanking. I'm fucking blanking. The MFer.
The MFer. Yeah. No, Raymond Stanley is a really good guy. I like Raymond. He's very, very, really cool guy. I like seeing him whenever he's around. He's always got fun stuff to add.
Mm-hmm. Well, Luke Stone, I've been trying to get him on the show, and he apparently was working very hard to launch Fund My Comics, mycomic.com, which is a fundraising site for people that want to do their own comic books. I'm actually bringing his stuff down to Dallas so that you can see that.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Oh, I just want to go back. Pinochet and I were in an argument. I won, he lost. So just want to say that from there. So just let you know.
Usually he waits till we're backstage to tell you that he won.
Yeah, but you're a guest, so I want to do it.
Yeah, this is important.
So
the chat can't be misled
publicly.
Mr. Tickle Drunk for 2.2 Canadian yet again says, "You're so blown out. You're cell shading comics." Yeah. Push it back a little more.
Comics is doing mocap for GTA 7.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Shit. Where were we?
How we don't do anything anymore because it's all given out to the corporations.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all just need to give up. That's Pinochet's Helicopters Tours telling us all give up.
No, I don't think that's what he's saying.
I don't think that's what he's saying at all. Look, I do something every day, and now courtesy of Grant and his amazing editing and the beautiful
team something every day, courtesy of Grant.
The amazing team of people I get to work with that would have included everybody on this screen except for Tox, and a whole lot of other people I get to hang out with regularly. We do stuff all the time. I refuse to give up. I never give up, never surrender. I am a Galaxy Quest guy, kids.
Yeah, I think the big thing is it going back to the fuck blackpilling, right?
Yeah.
It's like you got to be aware of what's going on, but you can't let it get you down. You got to continue the good fight.
Being realistic within reason.
Yep.
Well, that's why the meetups are so important.
Yes, essential.
That's why we're trying to bring some merch but also we're doing that breakfast on Friday, right?
Mm-hmm.
So anybody from Dallas, come and just sit down and have breakfast with us. I need to call and reserve that, but we're just gonna get together and talk to people.
Yeah, as many times as we can.
Yeah, and then at the meetup Thursday night.
Oh wait, can I show the thing? I have a thing.
Yeah, do it.
Hey,
right.
show the
Show
thing.
your thing.
I got the thing. You want to see the thing?
Yeah, we'll show the thing.
This is the actual. This is the actual poster, like actually printed in realness. And this is the lower quality poster. This is not the one you're getting. You're getting a high quality poster board poster.
Very nice.
When I get there tomorrow, do I need to get a box of Sharpies for us?
You should, because we'll lose them. But I'm bringing like 5 or 6 of them. So, but buy it.
I'm getting there tomorrow, so I've got a couple days to.
That must be nice. Some of us have I haven't even gotten all my clothes packed yet, let alone all the equipment I got to haul.
Come on, you're going to be naked most of the time in the house.
Naked.
Naked and afraid.
He's put on some underwear.
No. Naked and making us afraid. That's what.
Yeah.
Yep, making us afraid. That's.
Wait a minute. Did the ladies finish over on Toxic Femme? Where's Tom?
I don't believe
I see Mags in the chat right now.
I think he's getting ready to watch Dumb and Dumber because we're talking about Toxic Tuesday tomorrow.
Oh, that's such a good film. Original one. First one.
So Mr. Tickle Trunk is saying that I need to powder next time before I get under the light.
Yeah, dude, you are a little shiny.
Well, part of the issue too is that the Brio doesn't help matters, right? If I was actually using my Canon camera, I think that obviously the image quality looks a lot better, but I didn't mess with it beforehand.
Oh, Angry Gamer, 11 hours is nothing. I'm going way farther than you to get
You're
there.
supposed to just say it's hot in Texas.
It is
that too. I'm actually not sweaty. I just look shiny.
I'm going to be hot in Texas, baby.
My head always shines.
Ooh.
Hey, yeah.
This is my shiny.
But it'll glisten in Texas.
I'm really flipping stoked. I hope you guys are.
What?
We're
seriously.
We're not that far away.
Are we gonna transition?
We yes.
No, we still got. We got
Thursday.
We got a few.
Thursday's gonna be lovely because we have the meetup on Thursday. After the meetup, we're doing a delayed show start. By the way, guys, we'll be later than normal.
Oh, by the way, that reminds me. We are going to go back to our 9 p.m. time.
Oh, that's true.
This is something forgot to announce last week, but we'll talk about it now. Mainly because we don't want to compete with Toxic Film.
We like that. We love that show. Yeah.
And so I know that'll make Brahma's life easier.
Yeah, the wife won't be quite as pissed off at me.
Culture will be.
We talking about Mondays and
30
Thursdays, or
minutes
just Mondays?
That'll be fine. It'll be fine.
We'll probably do both.
Honestly, it's gonna be worth it. For me, that works good at home too because it's straight off. When the girls gotta wind down, so it's a win for everybody.
I feel like we actually had a larger viewer base when we were going later for some reason.
We did,
and I also feel like
night owls.
That would be a natural spillover from Toxic Femme. You go from Toxic Femme to Toxic Men.
Yep,
I like that. Yeah, 100%. from girls to men. Men.
Bill just gagged.
Okay, all right. We have a Rumble rant, then we'll do memes and we'll bounce to the Rumble side, and we can have we can unleash the Pinochet. TZ Burton for $2 says Rayman G. Stanley goes on Nick Weiser's channel on Fridays, and Tim Pools shouts him out too. Oh, we are going. I already read that. Never mind. Okay, for some reason I thought. I'm retarded. Okay, don't mind me. All right, memes. Play the thing, Toxic Manflu.
Get thee to a memery.
Oh shit. There we go. There's that, and
Penis gagging you with entertainment.
Look at that cock.
Oh my God, the cock.
Boing.
What the fuck?
Oh no!
What's that? I didn't see this one.
This Biden moment. Oh wait, sorry, no, that's not it.
That looks like more like I'm breakdancing.
It
But
does.
all you bitches be midgets.
Wow.
So this is in response this is from Magic Poop in response to this meme that I made.
Do you need a
I can
meme?
open it up. Yeah. This one, comics when someone puts his head on a midget body.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. I love Corey's face. That's just great. And look at Nick.
Why are Corey and I dressed in those
You're twins.
costumes?
Yeah.
You don't understand that?
You're
Okay.
a leopard women. Wow.
I like how Brahma's wearing his pants up to his boobs. That's funny.
It's interesting that they couldn't fit Pinochet in here, but Pinochet is faceless.
And
It's more efficient than wearing a bro tux.
Just a hat.
Yeah. Oh, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, your pants are very high.
Yeah,
And
but they also double as a
wearing
push-up bra.
suspenders and pulling.
Is
Okay.
toxic? Are you like the Black Widow?
I'm green.
Oh, that was
I'm
black.
green, baba dee baba.
The Green Widow.
Oh,
All right, well, what else we got?
Oh, gee whiz. You don't have to be so pushy.
I will be
the
pushy,
US
damn it.
All right. Gee whiz. That's the first time you've been a man in a
Wow.
USA handball team. Yeah. So
when are we making movies, and when is this one coming out?
yeah.
This looks like a winner right there. Handballing.
Indeed.
Ball in hand.
Handball court and in the bedroom.
They got those heads on there seamlessly.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So you guys hear about this? Can't wait for Culture Vision.
Close my eyes.
There's this.
I've got
and
culture vision.
There's Culture right
Hey, there I am.
Yep, I saw that.
Look how happy she is. I mean, I bring joy.
Look at that funny
Not
man.
that kind of joy.
He's naked playing handball. Here's lovely Sherry. She has a good idea. Take pictures while bird watching at the national park. Bad idea. Take some pictures while bird watching at the strip club.
Yeah, they don't allow cameras.
No, they didn't. Wait, what?
What?
And of course,
Indeed.
the Sex Olympics. This was worth another look.
If a picture paints a
Look at that.
thousand words.
Look at that smile on Brahma.
Why can't I jiff you?
Yeah, just saying. I've always known I could do this, folks.
And with all the milk production, I
Damn.
mean, come on.
You've been pumping iron.
Two Wets.
Thunder Dick.
Hey, I'm Panthro.
Yep.
Thunder Dick.
And culture got Chitara.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I'm good with that. Look at the hair, baby. Fabulous.
Apparently, comics.
It's pretty much the same as Lion-O's.
I'm a ginger. It's really weird.
Yeah, you look great as a ginger, bro.
I got snarfed.
You did.
Snarf, snarf.
Snarf, snarf. Come here, Culture. I'm gonna snarf you. Snarf. Devil made me do it here. Comics is sick of being asked where his mommy and daddy are every time he goes into the grocery store by himself.
That looks like a Target too.
It does look like a Target.
It kind of does.
Oh,
He was just going in there to buy.
It is Target. You can see it on the back wall.
Yep, right there. Yeah.
You're not supposed to be there, comics.
Well, the funny thing is I typically don't shop Target, so there's that. Typically.
Let's see if you can hear
Right.
this.
What's happening now?
All right. I supposedly shared. Can you hear this?
There's no audio.
Nope.
Damn it.
So the answer to that question was nope.
No.
I am no longer slicking my hair back ever again. It looks awful.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, fudge. I'm not that old.
You're also not a woman.
But that is how I picture your chin underneath that beard.
Yep.
Dude, my chin's almost hitting my boobs. What the hell's happening right there?
Well, you practice stretching your. Well, you are the U.S. Olympic scrotum stretch champion.
No, that is not true.
Not according to this meme, buddy.
It looks like you could probably do another event too, because it looks like you forgot to put in your dentures.
Yeah,
gum job champion.
I've never had a big
Gum
lip
job
before.
champion.
What is wrong with you people?
Did you win 2 years in a row?
Gum job.
He did.
No,
No,
two
they just
separate
give you a
events.
medal for each ball that you're hanging.
No,
the weights from.
There's two separate events. There's one with a zipper and one without. That's all.
That's right. Well, the real feat was when he tied his scrotum to a tree and ran a marathon. That was awesome.
Well, I have to tell you, as a dragon, that tree was a bitch.
The Dix division. All right, thank you, Parrot Head. You get to be Barf.
I'm the chick again.
I know, but
when are you not?
I'm a gosh darn prince. And Parrot Head responding to that again. The Hobbit.
The Wizard of Flu.
The Wizard of Flu.
Look,
I like that.
this cartoon was balls.
It was. I liked it.
Oh, look, it's a little teapot. Oh, anyway, sorry.
Is there a tempest in there?
Could be.
Oh,
There's
there
a
will be.
tempest in me. Okay, sorry.
From core member, the Adventures
That one
of
I saw
Bonsai
the other
Tree
day
Doctor.
was fucking great.
Yeah.
Why? How did your head get so narrow? You're like a beaker.
I think it was the angle I took the picture and the way it got
That
cropped.
is terrible.com, dude.
Sodom and Gomorrah is trending.
What the flip?
It showed on the side of his thing. Sodom and
Culture
Gomorrah.
goes
is
down.
trending.
Doing this to me right
Oh.
now.
Culture, you're droopy.
Yeah.
Oh, honey, you need a play tags.
Yeah.
Yeah. You should
And
talk to
needs a
Nancy
new bra.
Pelosi, figure out what she's wearing.
It may be a lift.
Dude,
Turn that frown
socks.
upside down.
These are grapefruits in socks. I am unhappy right now.
Every time he runs, he knocks himself out.
Well, it's hard on your neck, Culture.
Yeah, it's hard on a lot of stuff. Apparently, I'm fucking smacking
what
my
she
knee.
said.
Jazz Jennings is trending along with Sodom and Gomorrah
Oh
And
no!
and UFOs.
Can you imagine now if Elon wasn't running Twitter, this shit would have been knocked off the trending.
Oh,
Look at
Mama
Corey.
Susan's away. The Dix will play. All-purpose flour.
So is that
Is it-
Culture's crack?
Is that a
That's
nude
Culture's
flower?
crack.
I love it. Okay, for me, WWDC 23 is trending. LGB without the T is trending. UFOs and Turf Island.
wow!
Turf
Dude,
Island.
they're
That's what I
going to
got.
war. They're going to war on Twitter, baby.
Your
I hate
fifth grade
you.
teacher.
What the flip?
Oh,
Are you still
man.
having a problem there with the brassiere?
That's,
I'm not that old. Who's in the background that's like checking me out? That is creepy as F.
It's Toxic Man Flu.
That's me. Boy,
This is
Mrs. Christina.
terrible. I look. I am a beautiful human. What is going on right now?
So there's
Oh.
Music California.
Oh, I am so glad this is not me.
I did that one almost a year ago, but with different us's.
Don't get much gayer than this.
Nope.
The music makes it so much better though. It's a shame we can't play it.
Oh,
Nick,
Wow.
Spicy nut Cheerios.
this is
Whole
actually
grain
Nick.
nuts. Yep. Oh, it's core member. He's starting to get all this AI stuff with the preface and everything down.
Nick, this is actually a really good picture of Nick.
This is
It
from I
is.
think last Thursday.
He's like
What's he
he's
reading?
like
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
It's still good though.
No, I
He's like-
like this photo. Nick Spicy Nuts. What can
Yeah,
I say? I
dude.
know I'll put the spice in nuts.
yeah, you do, and this is like you look like medium like buzzed right there, like just enough alcohol to get to that
We're
certain.
not exactly telling you what the nuts are spiced with.
Oh
Hey.
no, the one below that is
That's an
redonkulous.
insider
Did you see
secret.
the Ryan thing? Wait a minute.
Oh,
Yeah, I did.
this one.
Oh no. Oh, poor Ryan.
I didn't realize that was Brie Larson at first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I'm going to say this, and this is very sexist. So,
she
you know.
looks a lot older in that picture.
But she's got a like slamming bod, kids. I'm just saying. Except for her feet.
No,
I average.
Average for Hollywood.
Yeah, dude. Seriously, she is fucking Hollywood average. She's average in general, in my opinion. Not just Hollywood average.
She is an Academy Award winner.
Oh, she's
Academy Award winning average. Yeah, she's
in shape. She's nothing special.
Yeah,
got a couple
not
more
curvy
here.
enough for me.
Conversation.
Again, I'm the chick.
You idiots! They are not them. You've captured their stunt doubles.
That's fucking great.
Oh, it was a great scene. What a great movie.
That was a great
Toxic
movie.
Mansa's podcast. Yes, that's what I'm hearing right now.
Yeah.
Proper TMF. Oh, that's great.
Yep, stay away from that. I actually have this shirt. I don't know.
Dude,
I just got a nice DM.
They're doing a great job with your greenness.
Yeah, what's your nice DM?
Alex Stein says as soon as his show is over, he will be heading to the meetup on Thursday
Yes.
night.
Oh, we're gonna.
So week of confirmation, I think we're safe on that one.
So we're allowed to
yeah.
tell. Okay, so you guys, prime time.
Pimp on a blimp.
Yep.
Pimp on a blimp.
Yeah, we asked Alex Stein to. Actually, I shouldn't say we. Brahma asked Alex Stein.
Brahma gets the credit on that one.
Did you see?
You wouldn't know
somebody
me
was
if
trying
not
to
for comics. So
somebody's trying to debate Alex Stein about Isom on his show, and Alex
That was
actually
Dick
had
Masterson.
He had this. Was it? No, I would have recognized Dick Masterson. It was somebody else. It was like a socialist or something. I forget who it was, but Alex had I think it was last week. He had to stick up for Eric July. This guy was going off on him too. I was like, who is this guy? He was just on the show, and Alex is like, no, it's not true, actually.
What was he saying about?
It was just making the usual stuff. He was actually repeating a lot of the Twitter arguments that you could see on there, but I didn't pay much attention to it because Eric wasn't there to defend himself, and it's way more fun watching Eric talk to these people head on. Yeah. So it was just
was the typical arguments being he made a lot of money and I'm jealous.
No, he says that's what it. If you think that's something along the lines of if you think who you're selling to is the marker of success, or it was along those lines. Like it wasn't actually a success. These are books in the store. I'm going. I've got a copy of it that didn't exist. First I had to take a picture of it, but it had the mailing address of the box. I was like, oh look, the package that didn't exist, and I stupidly took a picture of it. And apparently Twitter won't let addresses appear in pictures, or
that's probably a good thing.
Yeah, so it saved me. It didn't post the picture because my shipping address was on the label, but I'm like, oh look, a box that doesn't exist that everybody says was fake. I got it faster than I got Cyberfrog. So
I actually I actually have my full box still that I keep the Eric July box very precious.
Yes, I think that's.
I think it's Vito.
Vito,
yes.
Oh, Vito, that's right.
Vito
okay.
and Masterson. I don't know if you guys caught the recent episode of Flashcast, which I'll tell you what, man. I caught the replay of that, and that was one of the most bizarre episodes I've ever seen in my entire life of anything on YouTube.
What happened?
Ever. Ripple was on there because him and EVS. They had some disagreements, but they were able to become civil out of all of it. However, Dick joined the show later on, and all the trash that Dick Masterson, I say this as a fan of the Dick show, but all the trash that he said about Ripa, he ended up backpedaling, saying that he was sorry or that he was joking. It kind of made me see him a little less because it's like, hold on. He went on all that trash talk, and now it's either I'm sorry or I was joking. Like he went hard on him on Rekida's channel, and now all of a sudden it became I'm joking and I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, it's because Rip is right there in front of him. I mean, he's not going to fucking.
Here's the thing: EVS
the majority, most people won't fucking rip into somebody like that.
And
most
that's
people.
the thing. EVS didn't backpedal on his criticisms; he stuck to it, and him and Rippo were able to still remain cool and civil. And I'm like, and EVS is on the stream right there, and it's happening too. EVS was there, camera on, and everything. Yet Dick just proved that he wasn't as holding to his conviction. So I was like, okay, well, I at least
Well, okay.
I at
There's
least
multiple ways of
respect
looking at it,
EBS
Nick.
for holding to his criticisms, unlike Dick, who'd be back the fuck off.
Just look, okay, here's another prime example of that. Look at Mad Max whenever Jeremy gets on a stream. Mad Max is the guy who's constantly criticizing Jeremy, but he's a huge fucking dick worshiper. Okay. I mean, when he's on there, he's like, oh, dude, thanks for being on. I mean, you could tell that it's either an act and he's doing it for views, but really has a lot of respect for him, or he's a pussy and he's not willing to be the critic that he is and when it comes to, facing somebody. So it's one of those two options. And that's how a lot of people are. They're all bluster. And if you're ever put in the situation of, oh yeah, you're talking shit about the person that he's on stream. Oh, hey, how's it going? Again, it could be that social conditioning thing again, right? Where it's like you're not going to be.
I don't know. I don't pay attention to the drama stuff, but is Dick Masterson part in the Dick Show part of that internet blood sports with who was the
fuck yeah, I know you're talking about.
I'm talking like whatever that show was, the drama alert.
Well, drama alert, but you had fucking what's his name?
Nick Rekieta's ex friend.
Fuck. I'm totally blanking on the guy's name.
Disloyal lawyer. That guy. The big, they go on and I don't pay attention.
Ralph.
To that you can kind
Ralph.
of
Thank you.
Ralph.
Yeah,
Ralph. Didn't pay attention to
Ralph.
that drama stuff. I had my time is limited, and I can't waste it on drama or people trying to one up.
You see enough shit on a daily basis as a plumber.
Yeah. But now they're. Once they're on a show, all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, you have to backpedal because we all look stupid." And the mutuals, like Dick Masterson and Nick Rekieta, get along very well, and there's no reason, Nick Rekieta is good with all the crew. So it's like, why is everybody all of a sudden stepping on toes when everybody could actually just enjoy the ride? And
I don't even know who the fuck Dick Masterson is.
He's another YouTuber. He has a show called The Dick Show. It's fairly entertaining.
I've heard of
He's
The
had
Dick
some
Show.
good guests on. He
Okay.
had who's that guy? Adam Sessler on.
He had Adam Sessler.
Yeah, he had, and that's what the show where Adam lost his mind. It was on the Dick Show.
Yeah. I remember that. Okay, I didn't realize Dick Masterson, that was his thing. Okay.
Yeah, long. Yeah, he's got a beard, long black hair. Like I said,
do that
very
show Everything
big
Wrong
voice.
with the World or something, or Everything Wrong?
Yeah. Like I said, he does have some great stuff that he's done. But, and like I said, even though I didn't agree with his criticisms, but I hated they backpedal once the music was in front of it. At least EVS did it and backpedal. He stuck to his guns. I was just like, now I know who is the real one and who is a coward about it. And that's what really shunned me. Not his negative comments about ISOM, but the fact that he backpedaled right there. I was just like, really, dude? Come on, man. If you're going to say that, then, commit to it. I would have my same criticisms and my same likes of a comic book, if I got to talk about, hey, here's what I like, here's what I felt like didn't work. Here's what I think could work. I even did a video today saying, here's 5 ways how I believe ISOM 2 will improve over 1. So that's me putting that out there because I truly believe it has that potential. But obviously, subject for another day. We should probably transition to Rumble.
I think Tom says one more meme and then we'll do it.
Stuff.
Yeah, sorry.
So yeah, here's apparently the new rooms that they have in the back at Target.
Fisting room.
Yeah.
Notice which section it's in.
In the kids section.
Yeah.
Screw Target.
Yep. We're done with Target.
Yeah.
Who did that? That was amazing.
Yeah, that looks fucking real.
That was Vince.
Yeah.
Womack.
Yep. All right. Let's head over to the other side. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to all those who left a super chat. And I have one more I got to get from Tim Hayes, who's been a member for 5 months. Wow. Let's take my money down at low. It says Hail Comics Vision. Hail, Tim. Yeah. And thank you to all of you who support me via Subscribestar, YouTube, Rumble, or Odyssey. Thank you so much. We will see you on the Rumble side. We're going to unleash the Pinochet.
Links.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, share, and comment, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. A huge thanks to all the supporters. Without you, Comics Division would probably be hoeing on a corner somewhere. Thank you all for watching. You are amazing.
As we flush YouTube down the toilet.
Before you fully flush, don't end. Rumble chat is